Welcome to the Fit to Talk podcast.
You just found the #1 health and fitness podcast for performers, and you're listening to a guest episode during which we discuss the realities of a career in the performing arts with people who are fit to talk about them.
Yeah, and if you like what we do, please leave us a review, preferably 5 stars, or on Spotify, click that follow button.
Also, if you like our meaningful, helpful, and accurate information, then maybe Fit to Perform is for you.
Absolutely. You can find out more information over on our Instagram at Fit to Perform West End, or on our website, fit-2.co.uk.
Moving on, we have an incredible guest for you today.
Yes, we do. So, our guest today made her name in the musical theatre industry during her nearly 3-year award-winning run as Christine Daaé in the Phantom of the Opera in the West End.
Casual,
very casual. She's also played Eileen in Wonderful Town, Cinderella in Into the Woods with Sam, Nellie in South Pacific, Tonia in Dr Zhivago, and Alice in At Last It's Summer. And she's very soon going to be, at the time of recording, appearing in Mima.
Yeah, there was, again, that is a truncated CV. There were so many things on there and so many glorious concerts and things that we actually talked briefly about during it. But what a conversation this is.
Oh, this is a fantastic conversation. Just really, she's so interesting, and she's had such an interesting career and her experiences around it. And I don't want to give too much away.
No, her willingness to share and be open about those experiences and vulnerable in the way that she discusses and what she talks about is a treat. It's a real...
It really is. It's a rare thing, and it's really fascinating.
Yeah, and we hope that you... Yeah, well, I guess I should say, please enjoy the completely compelling Kelly Mathieson. It looks like I've set you into a trance at the potential of this.
Really,
my social anxiety's gone.
Searching for a lie.
For the entire time, I was like, my in the bins, am I in the bins? And now I forgot about the lie. I'll get in.
Cool. I believe in you.
Yeah, I think you will. I think Kelly's going to get the lie.
Maybe this is the lie.
God.
We've gone meta.
Maybe I'm not Kelly.
Yeah. Whoa.
Maybe it's Mathieson.
Yeah. We should explain.
Don't worry, you don't need to explain that.
It's a joke that happened before.
Yeah.
But it's fine. So the other thing, I suppose, is question 1, which is, how does the story of Kelly Mathieson's life begin?
Well, my mum and dad met.
Yeah. What happened then?
Taking us right back.
How much detail does she know about? Like, that's pretty weird at a point, right? Like when you go, you don't want to know too much about that event. But anyway.
How do I start that?
I guess it's open to interpretation.
Yeah. What is my life?
No.
What is your life?
How did your life begin?
In what sense?
It's the first guest that's cried that early, I think, in the podcast.
Right, if I said it to you, what would you say?
The reason I don't want to answer that is because
you don't know.
The direction you go in is the interesting bit. So some people will start with facts and things about when they were born, and from there, and other people will start off with things that are important to them and various things. So simply when you say, how does the story of your life begin? That would be different to lots of people. So you can't possibly be wrong.
No, there is no wrong answer.
Unless it's a lie.
Oh God.
Well, then it's still, because there's permission, that's still good.
Yes, yeah, it's true.
So we're in. Okay, so what we do know,
yes,
we'll have to guess about Kelly.
Since I'm not cooperating.
It says you were Scottish born.
I am, yes.
We should have, you should guess from the accent.
You should guess from the accent, yeah. A lot of people don't think about that with me now. So when they look at me, they're like, you're Scottish. It's weird. And then open my mouth and then they realise I am.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
Do Scottish people look a certain way?
Ginger. and very round people. Have you seen the amount of us at the Euros? Obviously not anymore.
Yeah.
But we do look like a very unhealthy community.
I think this is people's perception of Britain as a whole, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is, particularly like around football. I feel like the perception of any of Britain when you're at the Euros is And not necessarily the nicest
except
perception.
for Welsh fans, because nobody knows what they look like.
No, because they're not there.
Are they ever?
I'm Welsh, so I'm allowed to say that, and I won't be offended by that, though, because it was quick. And also,
sorry for your loss.
and also I'm not a particularly likable fan. So, whereabouts in Scotland did things kick off for you?
So, I come from just outside of Glasgow. My mum is Glaswegian, so I grew up in a little place called Ayrshire, which is mainly known for Robert Burns, who was born there. His cottage is there. Very small place, very small, kind of boring, small town, basically. I did not fit in whatsoever for a very long time.
And why do you think that was?
I think I was always a sort of like performer. I think my mindset was bigger. I think I was more even open more as a person, like mentally. I was very much more accepting to loads of different people. I wanted to know about kind of everyone's stories, even from like a really young age, where I was from was just very like straight-minded. There was not much kind of to it. It was just you went to work, you came home, and that was kind of it. But yeah, I mean, I normally say I'm from Glasgow because nobody has a clue where I actually come from. But Glasgow holds a very special place in my heart. I miss it a lot. I miss Scottish people and I miss the humour. But I don't ever think I belonged where I grew up.
How far away was Glasgow from where you lived then?
Half an hour.
Okay.
My grandparents were in Glasgow. Yeah.
So you could pop in when you needed to get something. Or...
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Very easy. But I was so desperate to leave. So desperate to leave. And yeah. Not my favourite place in the world. Sorry, Mum. Yeah.
It's bizarre when you say that. I love that you said sorry, Mum, because it feels like you're like, oh, this was your choice, and I, whilst I respect it, I want to be somewhere else. Yeah. But are you in sort of two minds about that? You said it's my favourite people in the world, one of your favourite places, and it holds an amazing place in your heart. But at the same time, you don't want to be there. I think it's also like something that really bothers me about it is like Scotland don't take music and theatre as serious. We do have the conservatoire up there, and there is the drama school, and I know some people that studied there and have gone on to do incredible things. But I've never found the place to give such opportunities. And there's, music is not taken very seriously, even in schools. I was just very lucky that I found my first singing teacher where I was. I just landed extremely lucky with the teacher I was given. But that's what bothers me about it, is I don't think it's the most creative place on earth. And I think there's a lot of talent in Scotland, and some incredible actors have come from Scotland. But a lot of them came down here to train. And I think that's the sad thing, is that there's not enough opportunities up there. It might be growing now. It could be growing now, but there was nothing for me when I was up there whatsoever. And I think I kind of held a weird resentment against it in an odd way. I find that fascinating because I mentioned I'm Welsh, I'm from Cardiff, and I sort of felt the same way. There was this one place that you could go, which was Royal Welsh, and I was like, but even then from there, like, what are the avenues for me from there? There's no options, whereas I felt I had to shift across and leave.
Yeah, but the sad thing is about that is I don't come from like money, but I came from supportive parents. And with me moving down to London, like they put themselves through a lot to get me down here, to allow me to study here, to allow me to live out that dream. But a lot of parents in Scotland don't have that money. They don't have the ability to send their child down to train at these, and I mean, the fees nowadays to these drama schools. I mean, I think I was just on the cusp where they didn't put it up. And in Scotland also, tuition's free. If you're Scottish and you study in Scotland, no matter what you do, it's free. I mean, I was going down there and paying, extortionate amounts, and my parents did it for me, where not many people can. So like a lot of these kids and teenagers don't get to live out their dream because they can't afford to come down here.
Yeah.
And it's not fair.
And what did you, if you don't mind asking, what did your parents do as a job?
My mum's a nurse, and my dad was an airplane engineer.
What? That's a good combination of jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not musical at all.
No,
but some fantastic stories and knowledge.
Yeah.
Well,
But so how did you then stumble upon singing? Like, if they had no kind of background in that, what led you to having that first singing teacher?
I think it all stems like every single little girl started with ballet classes. And I think I started picking up a lot of musicality from that. And then my parents had bought me like a keyboard or something. And I used to be able to listen to music and just automatically play it on a piano. I had like a bizarre ear. And I think my parents noticed that, sent me to piano lessons. And then I started playing the French horn, and then I started singing. So I think I was incredibly musical before I even started singing. And it was my teacher at my primary school that was my choir teacher that pulled me aside one day when they just asked who wants to sing a solo. And I think I was still quite confident. I wasn't like a theater kid, but I loved what I did. Mm. And it was then, and that's when I started singing. She pulled me aside, said, "Do you want to have singing lessons?" And on top of that, I was doing like dance like 4 times a week, my French horn, piano lessons. And then I go home to my mum and be like, "Can I have singing lessons?" And it was never like no, you do enough. It was, "Do you want it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think I do." So then they sent me there, and there wasn't a problem. It's only like nowadays I look back and I'm like, my parents did so much for me, and they never said no. And I also think to allow your child to go into this industry and know that this is what they want to do is like a big ask. It's a big ask to allow them to let you do it, but they did.
Why do you think that is such a big ask?
I think it's because it's just known for being so unstable, which is the truth. Like, we all know it's so unstable. Even as adults, I'm sat here and sometimes I'm like, oh God, I wish I didn't do this. But when it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's really some of the darkest places I've ever been in. And obviously it brings a lot of other mental issues to you. But I do sometimes feel, because they were ignorant to the industry, that they didn't know what I was getting into, that's maybe helped me. I think now if I was to have a child and they turned around and said, "I want to go in the industry," I think I know it sounds really bad because it's hypocritical, but I think I would be quite scared, because I've seen some horrible stuff and I've heard some horrible stuff, and like, I don't know if I would allow my child to go through it, which sounds really bad. I wouldn't say no, but
I don't know if it does sound bad. I think you have more knowledge than the people who put you through that thing, and the pitfalls. I think it's really tricky. Bobby is a new dad.
Yeah.
So perhaps you can shed some more light on your opinion. Like, how would you feel about that?
If he said he wanted to do it, I would absolutely support it. I would obviously, I think Sam and I are in a great position that we can provide him with the knowledge of what it's genuinely like, and he can then make a decision based off that.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would encourage him specifically to go into it. I wouldn't be like, "I want you to follow in my footsteps and be a mediocre dancer." Like, I wouldn't necessarily do that, but I also don't think I would go, because I've been in it, I don't want you to.
I feel
go in it. I would just be like, this is it actually what it's like.
Yeah.
This is the real lived experience of being in this career.
And he will have experienced that with you.
Do you want it? If you really love performing that much, then knowing the kind of pitfalls and knowing the horrible situation that surrounds it sometimes, if it's what you really want to do, then that's what you do. And hopefully I can help in that situation. But who knows? He might be a terrible dancer. Yeah. He won't be a terrible singer. Sam will make sure. No,
that is true.
Sam will make sure he's a good singer.
It's in the studio straight away.
From the age of 3. That's the conversation my dad had with me. Pretty much that exact thing. He's an opera singer, so that they. You two would have a lot in common as well. He's going basically that thing, saying, "Look, if you're doing it because you want to be famous, or because you want your name up in lights, or any of those things, it's probably not the best call. But if you're doing it because you love it and you can't see yourself doing anything else, then we're with you 100% of the way. He sat me down, we had that conversation, and I said, let me think about it. And I was like, yeah, it is that one. They were like, okay, cool, we're on board. I wonder, when we speak about this and we speak about these pitfalls or the things that you wouldn't want a descendant or a child to go through, what are those things and why are they so hard to deal with?
I think within the industry, I think, mentally I've gone into really bad places, like I think that I've been very open about it, but Phantom was one of like the most incredible moments of my life. I mean, it was my dream for, I don't know how long, like the stuff I would do as a child that I now look back on for that show is really beautiful. Like the tiny little things I would do, I was obsessed with it. But it was also some of like the darkest places in my life. I had horrific anxiety, and my eating disorder came back. I was severely thin. I was exhausted, but I also come from a family of workers, and we don't take time off. I was always, to be fair, they would say to me, like, don't be the hero. If you can't go on, you can't go on. I would never go on if I was really, it was severely, like my voice wasn't there. But, I would push through a lot of stuff. But I lost a lot of confidence. And it wasn't like that show. There wasn't anyone at me about it. I think my eating disorder came back with comments that I would hear about other people in the cast or, dressers. It was a dresser that left. So it wasn't anyone I had for a long time. They were there not for a very long time. And would say stuff about, my alternate, and it would make me nervous. And you would hear people complaining about taking people's costumes out because they had been on holiday. And, but I had a past with an eating disorder. So this wasn't, a new thing. And just kind of like the competition of it all can be so destroying. And, there's been sometimes I've walked away from auditions and not even got past the first round after sitting so high for so long. And I've taken it really, really badly. I've got used to it now. I remember actually sitting in a dressing room with Sam. We were doing Into the Woods together, and I'd got a rejection. And I remember still at that moment, I was sat in a job crying my eyes out because I just still didn't know how to handle it. And I remember turning around to her and I was like, do you still get upset? And then she said, yeah, sometimes, but it somehow gets easier. But I've never found it that easy afterwards. I feel I take things quite, I don't want to say like personally, like I understand the business enough, but I think this year has been a massive challenge. It's been very quiet for me until, upcoming now for the rest of the year. It's fine. But, you really question yourself and you as a person, and your job sort of like attaches to you. And if you're not working, people just think you're like not doing anything. And, if you're teaching, it's like, oh, is that all you do? And it's like, well, no, like it's still within me. Like the industry is a funny place at the moment, but like, even if it was booming, you could still be out of a job. They're just sometimes the things I worry about, it's the stability. And I think as I get older, I still worry about it for sure. But I always say if you've come back after COVID, then you want to be in this industry, because I think COVID was the perfect time for you to be like, peace, I'm gone.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I'm like, no way, because we were treated so badly. And nobody had a job, or in my case, I lost my job during COVID. I physically lost it. And I had to watch all these other West End shows go back and have their big moment that went all like viral on Instagram when Glinda comes down from her bubble. And I knew that Phantom was happening. I knew that chandelier was going up and it wasn't part of me. And I didn't get to say goodbye. And they're the kind of things I would worry about passing it on to a child. But I love it. I do love it when it's good.
It's so tricky. There's so much to unpack from what you just shared. But I think you've just described every sort of performer's lived experience of this thing, in that objectively from the outside, if you do not love performing, I think we all sound a bit nuts, because that what you've described sounds horrendous. And I think to somebody who didn't love performing, you'd go, well, why are you doing that? And the simple answer is what you said at the end. You're like, I love doing it. Mm. And that love sort of tips the scale just enough to keep putting you in that position again and again and again. And it's like being in this weird dysfunctional relationship with yourself where you're like, I would be better off if I left this relationship. Yeah. but you can't.
No.
And it, like, when you see people who go, I'm good with this industry, I'm going to go do something else, and they're really happy with it, you're like, wow, you good for you. Like, well done. Like, you are better off without that relationship. The rest of us are screwed. Yeah. But to jump back to what you said, one of the, there's, again, so much I want to touch on in there, the anxious side of it. So on one side, you're going, hey, you're winning awards for this amazing run in Phantom, in the probably one of, if not the most well-known show in the history of musical theatre. Mm-hmm. And on the other side, you're struggling to deal with anxiety. Like, where was that coming from and what was it about?
I think I shot so high so fast, and I didn't know what to do with it. I was also 23 when I went into Phantom. Like, I was young. And I also had never really surrounded myself with so many musical theatre people in my life. And that was a shock to the system also. But I think I come from such a classical background, like classical dancing, classical piano, like classical singing, that we're such perfectionists that I felt so out of control at some points. And my anxiety kind of, I didn't even have Instagram when I got Christine. Like, I didn't have social media. And then suddenly I got social media. And then, you know, you do this opening night and it's like the best night of your life. And then someone under some bizarre name in Instagram is slating your performance and, you know, being really mean about you. And then it's, oh, said this wrong, she did this wrong. And I actually didn't know how to handle it, like, whatsoever. And then there was this bizarre, which I look back at now and, like, I'll full on admit it wasn't great. But, you know, as a Christian, you have an alternate. And, like, you felt that weird kind of thing with them comparing you online. And I found that really difficult because my alternate and I started at the same time. And we were actually in the same boat where we both came from that kind of classical side. And I think we both didn't know how to handle it. And, you know, it would get stirred a little and that set me off a little, and which was a shame because we're now friends. But at the time, like, it just didn't kind of work out for us. And I have massive regrets about it, huge regrets. But, you know, I couldn't handle being wrong in the show. I couldn't handle singing something wrong. I couldn't handle something being out of my control. Mm. Of course, it got easier over time. And of course, like, now I'm much older, I can look back at it and be like, I would do anything to go back and just have a little time to just let myself be the Kelly now in it. But yeah, it was some of it was a really hard time. But as I said, it wasn't the show. It was just a lot for me to handle quite young. That was all.
I wonder, I think that's such a, people don't speak about that often. I think that having an alternate, or even the same thing with understudies, right? Like, how are you supposed to manage that relationship when you're in an industry that is inherently competitive, but pretends that it isn't? Like, people have literally competed to get that job. And all of those people would do anything to be in your position. and some of them may be wondering why they're not.
Yeah.
And do you have to somehow manage that and be their best friend? Like it's crazy difficult. And you go, oh, by the way, you're in a room with that person who wanted that job, but got this one, so took it. That might not be the case, but often is. You're like, oh God, this is awful. You said you'd love to do it now. How would it be different if you did it now?
I think maturity, both in my performance and my voice. But I also think just I've learned so much over these past years that I just think it would be a much clearer performance for me. That's all. A less tired performance as well.
And then, okay, so to jump back to the darker side of what you were speaking about earlier on, you mentioned a history of disordered eating prior to that. Where did that start for you?
Started, I think, when I was around 20. I was on a pill. I don't really even know why I went on it. I think it was just I was a young teenager and I thought, well, everyone else is doing it. And I came off it and I dropped a lot of weight. I don't know whether it was I went back to a natural weight or I just naturally dropped a lot of weight. It came off so quickly. And a lot of people started making comments, and it's never, you don't look well, it's you look amazing. You look incredible. And I kind of just got into my head. I got into a bit of a toxic relationship during that time who would continually talk about my weight and kind of actually sort of like restrict the food from me so I would stay that size. Wow. And then I went completely downhill from there. I was really quite ill. I was never put in hospital, but I was very thin. I lost my periods. I lost a lot of friends because I wouldn't admit to it. I didn't know how to handle it. I wouldn't be sociable. I was studying at the time, so my voice had gone. It was gone. I had nothing to my voice anymore. And then that, of course, backfired and I kind of went into like a binge eating cycle. And put on a lot of weight. For me, also, this is like for me, it wasn't, everyone's weight is completely different, but for me, it was a lot of weight, but I did look like I'd put on a lot of weight. And from that moment, I'd really struggled with food. I eventually found a balance, but I would think about eating continually and I would think about my unhealthy obsession with running. Running was just punishment, complete punishment, especially in the height of those kind of like anorexic days. It was just, I think I like really hurt my ankle and I still dragged myself out. I was in like severe pain. And if I couldn't get out in that run, it was a disaster for me. So yeah, it was a really hard time. So when I felt like it was coming back in around 2017, that was really hard for me to be so terrified of food. Terrified of food. There was some days I would have coffee for dinner because I felt like, I couldn't have anything else because I was so afraid of not fitting into my costumes. Or I wouldn't eat lunch or, and breakfast was very small. I think looking back, I was probably averaging like 400 calories a day and getting through either one or two shows, which was really difficult. But people talk about it, but it's never, in a bad light. Some people would say, I think I was pulled aside at one point to kind of ask if I was okay. And I was. There was a point where I dropped so much weight just naturally during the show that I actually felt fine. And I thought I was eating, but I actually really wasn't. It's actually when people point it out to you that you think, oh, no way, I am really thin at the moment. And then you continue with that battle because you're like, oh no, now I need to stay this thin. Now I need to keep going. Now I need to make sure my costumes forever fit me. But, there was a time I went on holiday during my run in Phantom, and I would be running around the kitchen because I was so afraid of putting on holiday weight.
Wow.
It was just I couldn't sit still at all. And I would pretend that I was like having fun and dancing, but I wasn't. I was trying to burn something because there was no place for me to work out where I was.
You mentioned a few things that are sort of symptoms of that really, let's call it what is extreme, calorie deficit. We're in a starvation protocol essentially. You mentioned your period stopped and it did start to mess with your voice at different times. Was there anything else that you noticed? I'm asking this for people who might not, or who might be in that position now, who may be focusing on what they look like and actually are ignoring these symptoms. And there are quite a few, and I'm just wondering if there are any that sort of stick out to you beyond those.
Yeah, I mean, I think also what's important with eating disorders is like not everyone is seriously thin. I know I've met some people through the charity Beat that I worked with that wouldn't look like they had one. But a lot of the kind of symptoms that they would have is your hair can start falling out. Your skin is very, very dry. You can't sleep. Your teeth can start like discoloring, but that also comes with bulimia. And you can have just very bad skin. I think the periods is a big one. That was a major, major red flag for me. But a lot of the symptoms are, it sounds quite bad, but we're very smart at hiding it half the time. I wore a lot of baggy clothes and I have a lot of hair, so it was very easy to kind of cover myself up. And I just acted like I was, I'm just naturally kind of thin. I'm not at all. Just, it's hard.
So what broke that cycle for you? What you mentioned working with the charity Beat, perhaps it's part of that, but what made this shift?
I think during COVID was a big one. I think in COVID, I finally allowed myself to find some form of like rhythm with eating. It was the first time I was actually, you'll know this, but you don't always not everyone is able to just sit down and have dinner when you're doing a show. It's like a quick prep or something like that. But I was finally allowing myself to sit down and have dinner. And I did realize, I did start to gain more of the weight again. Again, struggled with that. Again, tried to lose it. But I think I eventually, not until around 2 years ago, started finding a balance with myself. I think I removed a lot of toxic people out of my life that also made a lot of comments about the way I looked, and kind of just allowed myself to be myself, and also understand that I'm a woman and that I'm going to have curves in certain places and that my body is going to change. And I have to be okay with that. And I think that's when I eventually sort of like gave in really to it and just allowed myself to be me. Yeah.
I love that. So the charity you mentioned, do you work, how did they come into it?
So Beat is a eating disorder charity. So they primarily work with people that have either coming out of hospital or are suffering at home, or they also have group classes. They're also really good at including your friends, if your friends want to go talk to them, to allow them to understand how to help you. Because just being told to eat, or you're just doing this for attention, or no, you're still so skinny, it's fine. Like none of this stuff helps whatsoever. I think also something that they're very big at advocating is like, it's none of this is about wanting to be skinny. It's actually about control. It's actually about trying to be in control of something. So if you feel like a lot of stuff is out of your control during a moment in time, the one thing you can sometimes control is food. And that's either a restriction or it's that you're using it in an emotional base kind of thing, you know. Funnily, actually, like 2 years ago when I went through a really bad breakup, I actually went the other way and I started eating too much because I was just trying to comfort myself. And I actually thought, I remember when we broke up, I actually thought to myself, I'm going to, you know, this isn't going to be good for me. But I actually I felt like my body was trying to hold on to something, which was different for me at the same time.
We were talking about this relatively recently, but dancers are 20 times more likely than the general population to suffer from disordered eating. And I wonder if that is part of it as well, that they've chosen a career that is so out of their control to a certain extent, that's one of the few things that they might be using to gain some sense of stability or control in their life. And perhaps it's one of the many reasons, I'm sure, that is so prevalent in there. I didn't know about that charity beat. Had you heard of them before?
I've not heard of Beat before, no, but I'm looking forward to kind of having a look at them now. Yeah. Finding out more.
A little more. Are they, do you know if they're like a global charity?
Yeah, they're huge.
It's a massive.
Yeah, huge.
Fabulous. Well, go and check them out anyway, even if you're interested or if you're in the performing arts, it is around you. So you probably need to know how to talk about it and how to help people, or maybe as you learn about it, you might find that you might need help.
Yeah, I think it's particularly interesting when you said about how you should speak to people who have disordered eating. Yeah, the way you should phrase things, the way you should talk to them and be around them, and I think that's often something that people struggle with. So I think it's a great idea that charity exists and that they offer that advice to people. Because the more we can kind of make that kind of channel of talking easier and better for everyone involved, then I think it's only a beneficial thing.
What you're describing, the way quite often people in musical theatre speak to each other, with that sentence of going like, "Don't worry, you still look really skinny." Yeah. Normally with "bitch" at the end of it in a friendly-esque way.
True.
It's true though, right? Like you hear that and then you go, "Oh, I've heard that every day I was in the theatre from someone to somebody else," and it's meant with love, but actually, stop commenting on what I look like.
Yeah.
Just stop it.
Yeah.
Like. It's not the one.
Yeah,
but we'll skip on. So you actually worked with Sam, Bobby's wife.
Yes.
On a wonderful production of Into the Woods.
Yeah. It was fantastic.
It actually was a really good production.
It was a brilliant production. I loved it.
And you had Peter Hanna in that.
Oh, yes.
Who I lived with for a period of time. He was one of our first podcast guests.
He was. He was early on.
Proper
Glaswegian as well. Yes. That's where I'm not going to attempt the accent now. But,
please do. Just try.
I lived with him for a while, so I'm not.
He's very broad.
You did do an impression of him that was very good.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'll do it off mic. Yeah.
Fine.
But yes, and that was Bobby came to see that.
I did go to see that in Belfast.
Yes.
And before you came here today, he told me you were terrible in that. He said you were rubbish.
It's one of the worst things I did. Yeah,
he did. He said how fantastic you were, and I've been in a production of that show too, and I know how demanding Cinderella is as a role. How was that experience?
It was amazing because first of all, it was my first Sondheim, but also Sondheim had just recently passed before we did that production. But it was also, for a lot of us, the first thing we had done after COVID. And I think that made it even more special because there was just this celebration of theatre. It was scary and a bit isolating because we were travelling over to... There was quite a few Northern Irish people in the cast, but there was a handful of us that were not from Northern Ireland. And we'd gone over to this new place and we really weren't allowed to socialise. We were kind of bubbled into flats, just two of us in a flat. And we weren't always allowed to go over to each other's, and we had to test every day. And, you know, there's a lot of masks in rehearsals.
Yeah, didn't you have to sing in masks?
Yep. Try do Steps to the Palace in a mask.
Okay. I couldn't do it without a mask, but I will try it for you.
That's brutal.
It was so hard, and it was just
Can't breathe.
horrible. It was horrible.
I loved
Horrible.
when they said, "Oh, the masks don't affect breathing," right? It was at the time when you were allowed to go back to some sporting things. I went to like my boxing club, and I was wearing mask, and obviously I was doing like ridiculous conditioning for about 20 minutes at the beginning, and 3 minutes in, I was like, and this thing is like glued to your mouth. And you're like, yeah, okay. I think they mean it doesn't affect your breathing when you're just walking.
Yeah. I did a Moulin Rouge dance call
No.
in a mask. I died. I legitimately died.
You cannot get enough oxygen in. So singing Steps to the Palace, which is a rather large number, and also it doesn't really give you a moment to breathe.
No, but I think the worst one was when we did the first full run of Your Fault
Oh, yeah.
in masks. And all you could see was these like angry eyes just looking at you, trying to get through it.
When you're learning that, you don't know who's singing when. So you're already like whose fault? Who's saying it's your fault? I recognize that voice. I'm late. I'm behind.
Like, who's singing?
Yeah.
Oh God, I didn't have to do that when I was in it. I was so grateful because I was the wolf and the prince, and basically a very similar thing to what Pete did. And not being in that number was fantastic because that was so complicated.
Oh my God, it's the best. I used to like
once you know it,
psych myself up for that moment. I was like, here it comes. I'm getting angry.
Well, then I guess it's your fault.
It was crazy to watch. I was like, how is this even happening?
It's so, fantastic. What was that like then? So you've gone from Andrew Lloyd Webber to Sondheim.
Yeah.
Which are two distinctively different styles. What were the challenges for you coming from a classical background, approaching your first Sondheim?
Really hard because I'm very used to like lyric singing. Sondheim was so wordy, and what I respect so much about Sondheim's work is he's such an actor over a singer rather than a singer-actor. And I really wanted to challenge myself as well, because I think I've always been frustrated as I come from a classical background. I did Christine, and then everyone just thinks, oh, that's all she does is kind of classical singing. And like, yes, I'm 100% a legit kind of musical theatre singer. It's what I would specialize in. But Sondheim was such a challenge within like acting, and I really wanted that. Obviously, I get one of the most wordiest, songs in the thing, and as a dyslexic, that was really fun to learn. But also, like trying to learn that as like quickly as possible, to the sense of with such great acting technique, instead of just singing it, because I'll just look at music and I'll like follow it, but I really wanted to be challenged with Cinderella, and I think I did learn a lot from it. But to be fair, also the staging, they had these ginormous stairs, and they stuck me. I mean, in these heels that were like this size in a huge dress that I had to just go down singing Steps to the Palace. I mean, it was so dangerous it was a bit carnage, the whole thing.
I think going downstairs in a show is one of the hardest things. If you're not looking at the stairs,
moving stairs,
yeah, and then just throw in some insane singing, and you're like, nah, this is impossible.
And heels, I can honestly say I've never had to do it in heels. To be fair,
I've done it in heels, but I've not done it while singing the Steps of the Palace.
That's a story I want to hear about as well.
Where did you do that?
I've been in heels many times.
That was at home.
I'll ask Sam.
just me and Sam going down our stairs in heels.
I have had to run down moving stairs in a show before, and I was like, I am going to, and every single night I was like, I'm going to fall.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely going to fall. And that wasn't like an irrational fear. That was based on the fact that my feet were moving and I wasn't sure where they were going to go.
Oh yeah.
Because I couldn't look.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm going to die. But they just keep choreographing it in, don't they?
Just keep doing it.
Since then, you have, or actually this entire time, you have been performing in many, many concerts.
Yes.
All the concerts.
Quite a few of them, yeah.
Yeah, to the point where I don't even want to list them, but you've performed at some of the best venues there are.
Yeah, but the best venue is Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Was that for the NFL?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to love this.
Wild. I was gutted I wasn't there. I was watching it on TV and I was like, yes, go get it.
What were you singing?
God Save the King.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the Queen had just died, so it wasn't a good time for me to remember the words.
Like,
really.
No pressure, don't get it wrong.
No.
You can't switch off for a second.
No.
Or you would have gone viral then.
I know. For all the wrong reasons.
All of the wrong reasons.
Truth, but it depends what your goal is.
That's such a cool thing to have done, though. Like, I remember thinking that at the time. I was like, that's amazing. Like, that's gone around the world. Like, that's bonkers.
So, millions of people have seen you sing in that. Is that the best venue then? Royal Albert Hall?
But no, right. Here's the thing. Okay, Royal Albert Hall 100% was so special because I studied across the road and I said to myself, I would never go in the Albert Hall until I sung in it. And I never stepped in it until the moment I sung in it, which was a really bad idea because I just shat my pants the whole time.
You're walking like, it is like, big.
I should not put this level of pressure on myself.
And it's exposing, right? Like because of the nature, it's a hall, not a theatre that you're like, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, and you're just in the middle of the whole thing.
Yeah.
How did you manage the nerve? In fact, in general, how do you manage the nerves now?
Propanol.
Beta blockers. I love that. Do you know, I love the honesty behind that because a lot of people don't talk about it. And it's something that I've recently tried for the first time. So I'm really, really new to this.
Beta blockers.
Propanolol.
Yes.
In this instance, yes. So if people don't know what it is, it's used for anxiety in general, but also it has several other uses for blood pressure and various things. Don't fuck with those, kids. Like they can mess you up. How did you come across these? I stole them.
No, I think another singer had was taking them. It was a while ago though, and then I think I took like half of one for an audition. You know, I only ever take them if I really know that I'm about to put myself through something that I might, because I have a habit of my legs will shake.
Yeah.
And I just don't want that for myself.
Yeah.
I have tried to not use them. I did go in for an audition, you know, a month ago or something, and I didn't take one and my legs went. Right. And it was a shame because it actually sort of ruined it for me. I never take, you know, like the full thing because I also don't want to like block out my emotions. Like I still want to feel some form of adrenaline. That's why like when people are like, how do you control nerves? Like they are genuinely a good thing. They are a good thing, but it's when they really, really affect you and you're becoming fuzzy in your head and you feel like you can't do this. That's when, you know, I have them as a backup. But a lot of the time, sometimes if I'm performing, I'll maybe do the rehearsal. I'll see how I feel. I'll get a gauge of like the hall or wherever I'm doing it. And then I'll be like, do I feel I need this? That's all.
I love this because so many performers I know have used this. And it's incredibly prevalent in the classical world, right? For musicians, where obviously any kind of tremor or nerves, if you're a violinist, is going to be concert ending. Like you can't continue. And it's really, really prevalent. And yet I don't think people in musical theatre are very openly talking about it, in spite of the fact that quite a lot of people are using this thing. And actually, you know, getting prescribed it is very difficult. So I think people find it in other ways. And so just knowing what it is, hopefully will open up, and that people are using it, it will open up people to going, hey, what is this thing? Should I be using it? And go and chat to your doctor if so, because it's... But yeah, my experience, just to jump in with you, was when I was 8 years old, I would get up to sing and I would be terrified.
Right.
I wanted to do it, but I would shake like a drill. Anyway, I found ways of managing that one. By the time I was in drama school, it manifested in different ways. I would my mouth would be so dry, I couldn't sing, and like all this stuff until, you know, managed to forge some kind of career out of this thing. And then when I first did an audition, I took half a tablet of the lowest dose of that. I was like, oh, now I can do exactly like I've prepared at home with a little bit of nerves, but now I can deliver that thing because my brain isn't going absolutely mental in this point. And it doesn't happen to me in performance. When I'm in the show, the second it's the show, I'm fine. It's just in auditions. Well,
auditions are a different beast, I think. I think that's another thing that's understated. Is like, it's a different skill. Being able to audition is a different skill. It's a different world to going out and performing in a show. Like, I'm the same as you. Like, in terms of going into a show, I feel nerves, but I don't ever feel that like debilitating level of nerves. Yeah. Whereas there are auditions that I've been into that I have the exact leg shake that you talk about. My leg just like starts like flailing, like off the floor flailing. They're like, why are you doing a kick line on your own? I'm like, well, it's just what my leg's doing. Yeah.
Don't you like it?
Don't you like it? It was a character choice.
I've forgotten the words in a audition before, in a scene. I forgot the words and I fully decided to look up. It was in a scene, I did say that, didn't I? And it must have been about 10 seconds. I could see the panel starting to go like, what is happening? And then I eventually remembered it, carried on, and they finished the scene afterwards. They were like, that pause in there, like, did you forget the words or was that a choice? And because they said, was that a choice? I went, it was a choice. Yeah. And they're like, okay, let's do the scene again and we'll just do it without that pause.
we didn't like that choice.
Yeah, we didn't like that choice. Let's get rid of it. I was like, no problem. Do it again. Forgot the words. In the exact same place. Exact same place. And I was like, I'm so sorry, I forgot the word.
They're like, can't take direction.
That's why I had to say I forgot the words, because I was like, I either look like I've ignored them or I've forgotten the word. I was like,
this guy's a dick.
Yeah. Screw you, my choice is better. I'm keeping it.
So did you get it? No.
No, I did not get it. And actually, I did get a recall after that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Must have been a slow day.
You're telling me. It was actually the last day they were auditioning for that show.
Fantastic.
They were really struggling.
I love that.
It's the only time I get called in.
You're about to do Mima.
Yes.
At the time of this recording, you're about to do Mima. How's it going?
Good. Yeah, I've been having music calls with Richard Balcom.
Nice. Yeah.
I'm doing it with Louise Dearman. I'm actually really looking forward to it. I think it'll be... I love Louise. She's a very good friend of mine. I genuinely think Louise is one of these people that is so hard to find in the industry now. She is just salt of the earth.
Yeah.
And has your back completely. Some concerts that I've got are just because of Louise putting me forward. So I'm so pleased to just be working with her and spending like 3.5 weeks with her. But some of the music is incredible. And it's, I'm actually really kind of looking forward to it. But it's a big role.
It's a massive thing.
Yeah.
It's mad.
Yeah.
I saw it when Bobby was in it.
It's wild. That thing is wild. So I was like, how's it going? Yeah. But it's going to do a cool venue in Italy.
Yeah. We're going to Trieste. And loads of things are going over there recently. And I really want to know why. I think they put a phantom out there as well.
Oh. Yeah, they did actually. There's a few like random things. Isn't there something there at the moment? I'm going to babble. I don't know. There is something there that's at the moment that's got a bunch of musical theatre people in it. So yeah, maybe there's some sort of like push to do things out there. But it's cool that I need to call it Mamma Mia. It's cool that Mima is getting getting a run out again and like.
Yeah, they've rewritten the book. They've added in even more songs. For me to learn.
Of course.
Here's your other solo. No.
Here, have some more.
I booked a lot of vocal physio coming up. Literally. I've been watching the Caducan videos. See you at the beginning. Rumba Italia.
Yes. Yep. Yep. I've not even seen this video. This video exists, and I've not.
Do you want me to get it out?
Nope.
You'll have to
Would you like to get to
Kelly Fiver and you'll
hear me sing "Collar the Lot."
Yeah, it was great. Well, on that note,
but yeah. So, is there anything about health and wellness or fitness or the theatre or anything at all that you would like to see get in the bin?
Oh, Where's this phrase coming from? Do you know this is a very Scottish thing?
For me, it's come from Bobby, because I had never heard it before Bobby said it, and then Bobby was telling me that everyone says it.
Yeah, everyone says it. I've said it for like years, and I don't really know why I started saying it, but I must have heard it somewhere. But
get in the bin.
Yeah, I've said get in the bin.
Get in the bin.
I love it. I love that phrase. Like, as we can tell from the fact there's a segment in the show.
Yeah,
called Get in the Bin.
Get in the bin. Yes. I would like to say to get in the bin that West End is not everything in this industry. And I think that's something I've really learned along the way, because I have some friends that have not done the West End, and they're some of the most incredible performers I've ever met in my life. And I don't think that it's a be all and end all. And anyone that's going into this industry, if you're not hitting a West End show either straight away or, ever, it does not take away from everything that you've done whatsoever. Because some of the best times I've ever had and the most fulfilling have been regional tours, anything like that, not just West End shows.
Especially now, sometimes you see the budget on West End shows and you see the budget of the same production on a cruise, and you go,
yep,
well, it's 4 times the budget over there. So
no, I couldn't agree more. Like, some of the best stuff that I've ever seen has been regional, and the best shows that I've ever been involved in, I think, creatively, have been regional productions.
Yeah.
So you're like, yeah, just the obsession with the West End is wild. But you're right, like some of the best performers are doing regional stuff, and some of the best shows are regional. So yeah, love that. Straight in the bin.
In the bin you go, darling.
In the bin.
Do you have any advice to somebody that might be entering the industry now? Other than West End is not the be all.
West End's not the be all. It's Broadway.
Yeah. It's singing at the Albert Hall.
Yeah, it's not West End, it's Broadway.
To be as patient as possible and to continue your craft out with training. I've never had so many singing lessons and acting lessons and been at dance works and everything more than I have now than in a show, because it's a continuous game. And to genuinely be your authentic self, I think producers, conductors, directors, they meet so many of us that I also feel like they can see right through you of when it's not authentic and when it's not genuine. So it sounds very simple, just be a good person and support everyone and understand that this industry is tough and that we need to support and encourage each other. And a bit like, when I was talking about Louise Dearman, like Louise does so much work. She doesn't need to help me. She doesn't, although I've done such wonderful things at such a high standard, I still need help. I still need someone to contact someone else. Make good friends, have each other's backs, because it does come back for you if you deserve it. But to be as patient as possible, because everyone is on their own track. And not every single show is perfect for you at all.
And we know that. So that's some great advice. First of all, still processing. The next bit is without changing your facial expression. We'll look away from you for a moment. Listeners, this is the time to think back on everything you've heard and to work out whether you think Kelly has lied or forgotten, or if you do think she's managed to slip in a lie, what you think it is. Bobby, what do you think?
I don't think she's lied.
Yeah, I was between two things.
Okay, hit me. Don't actually hit me.
Imagine.
Do it. Fight.
Don't think she's lied. It was between don't think she's lied and French horn.
French horn. Oh.
But realistically, I think I'm leaning more towards don't think she's lied. But going with French horn is more fun.
Oh, that would have been, yeah, that's a good shout. Oh, that would have been a sneaky lie. Yeah, go with it. I said roll with it.
Shall we?
Yeah, let's roll with the French horn.
I'm pretty sure it's the other one, but let's
roll with the French horn.
We're all in. We think you have lied, and it was the French horn. Tell us, did you manage to successfully lie?
Yeah, and that's not the lie.
Okay, what was it?
I'm a grade 8 French horn player.
Oh, look at that.
The French horn's hard as well. That's a whole other thing. So what was the lie? That she's a grade 8 French horn player.
I most definitely could never hear music and play on a piano.
Oh, it was close.
There was in the right period.
In the right region.
Damn.
No.
Well done. That's a great lie.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But
believe
thanks
that.
for believing it.
Oh, I was...
Suckers.
Fair enough.
Oh. Should we play another game?
Yes.
Let's play another game. So we're going to play a game of this or that. It's a lightning round. Oh my God, we can have an arm wrestle. Let's go.
I am not willing to lose
Imagine
that
if we
today.
start doing arm wrestles on the show.
The least audio interesting thing we could do. Like, people would have to watch it.
If I do it, you can use your linguistic skills.
I'll commentate it like it's the
successfully-
16th century.
Who do you
exactly.
think would win, genuinely?
But in what?
An arm wrestle?
Between you and I?
No, to me and Bobby.
I think
don't
you're
know.
winning this.
I'm
No,
like...
I really don't. I'm weak.
My hands are so damp all the time that I would just slide.
I have a slightly longer forearm than you, which I think is a benefit. But
To what?
because the lever's longer, it's easier to
Yeah.
push from higher up. So,
Yeah, I've got tiny little levers because I'm very small.
but perhaps being compact. I don't know enough about arm wrestling. To
Yeah, I
work
don't
that
know
out.
any of the technique
My
of arm wrestling.
biomechanics is working. I'm like, a shorter lever would be helpful for visibility, but longer lever is easier to create pressure. Assuming we had the exact same strength, I still don't know.
The other thing I'm thinking about is, does your baby have curly hair?
He currently doesn't have much hair.
You look so confused
No,
by the
I
concept.
feel like this child would have come out with
He currently has
A
not
beard.
a lot of hair.
A beard.
Yeah, he should have a
I
beard.
was expecting a beard.
Yeah, so was I.
a beard followed by another Frenchie. Just
At least a goatee.
Just this weird, comes out with a tattoo of a Frenchie. You're like, how did this?
Like, what happened here?
How did this
Just followed out by
he
a French.
will have curly hair. Like, let's not mess around.
I mean, surely
It would be bizarre if
it
not.
would be bizarre. 'Cause-
Anyway, we've got a thing.
We've sidetracked, but yeah.
Right.
Okay,
This
I'm going to
or
play a
that.
game of this or that. I didn't even describe what the game was.
You didn't.
Snap.
No, I just
I believe in you.
yeah. This or that. 1 minute lightning round. 2 options. You got to pick one. Here we go.
Oh no.
Yeah,
it's one of them.
I need a
Decisiveness.
propanolol for this.
Just going to see your leg going. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Eggs or bacon?
Bacon.
White bread or brown bread?
White.
The US office or Friends?
Friends.
Cardio or resistance training?
Oh, cardio.
McDonald's or Burger King?
McDonald's.
Singing or acting?
Singing.
Raoul or Phantom?
Phantom.
Yoga or Pilates?
Pilates.
Family Guy or Love Island?
Oh, Family Guy.
Domino's Pizza or Papa John's?
Papa John's.
Sport or dance?
Sport.
Alcohol or chocolate?
Alcohol.
Matching socks or mismatching socks?
Mismatching.
Coca-Cola or Pepsi?
Coca-Cola.
Cameron McIntosh or Andrew Lloyd Webber?
Andrew.
Game of Thrones or Glee?
Glee.
Books or Kindle?
Books.
Clean shaven or beard?
Oh, beard.
Personal chef or personal stylist?
Chef.
Opening night or press night?
Opening.
Sexy or smart?
Sexy.
Shower or bath?
Shower.
French horn or singing?
Singing.
Dogs or babies?
Dogs.
Snakes or badgers?
Snakes.
Theme park or water park?
Oh, water.
Running or walking?
Walking.
Director or choreographer?
Director.
Bobby or Steffan?
Oh, anyway, great to meet you.
Oh,
52 seconds. Very,
Rapid.
very fast.
I actually feel like did
Rapid.
mean running, but no, we'll go for walking. Clearly, subconsciously, I said walking.
yeah, I suppose we walk more.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Percentage
potentially.
of your day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's in our top
52
tier.
seconds is rapid.
Very, very
Well
fast.
done.
Thank you.
Been in training for it.
She's
Yeah.
grade 8 at this or that as well. I don't know if you know. It's
Got a PhD.
in this or that. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you for
joining us,
having
Kelly.
me.
It's been a pleasure. And thank you at home or wherever you might be for listening.
And if you've enjoyed this episode, click those like and subscribe buttons and find us on Instagram at Fit2Perform West End. As always, if you've got any questions you want to answer by us, you know what to do. Slip slide into those DMs. I'm going to be in there playing the French horn.
Oh, yes. Thanks again for listening. If you like what you've heard, we have been Fit to Talk with our wonderful guest, Kelly Mathieson, and your hosts, me, Steffan.
And me, Bobby. And if you didn't like it, we've been Joe Wicks. Peace out.